Cardinal.
RCP chamber pressure looks good. Toggling up. Roger, roll, Atlantic.
Water towers can fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight down to SC off. Bring in SC off. Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.
All right, folks, good morning. Let me know that you've got a live feed. That is from Mary's camera, Boca Chica gal out on the side of the road in Boca Chica, Texas, Starbase. We've got a Starship S-20 that is already on the road. John Galloway for NASASpaceflight here. Let me know if you can hear me, and let me know if you can see Mary's fantastic shot there. Look at it closely. Starship's not the only thing moving. It's going to be a veritable parade down Highway 4 this morning out there at Starbase. The surge is real. We're going to get going quick, fast, and in a hurry here because it's already on the road. It's already moving. We're already turning robots around, and if you were watching on Starbase Live, you know it's go time right now. So what I need to do is make sure that I got some 5x5s. It looks like it. Excelente. So on the stream today, going fast again, like I said, John Galloway here. Also back in the studio with me, Michael Baylor. Michael, we got you?
Yes, we do, and I am 3 minutes out of bed right now because this caught us a bit off guard. They usually do not roll this early, and the road closure was only just posted, I believe, but
Yep.
quite clearly, action.
It's time to go. Michael will be here pointing robots today. Get some caffeine there, Michael, and get ready to point those robots around. Out in the field, we've got Mary, of course. We've already got Mary's camera on the screen here, and she has rolled out super early, probably caught the sunrise there, and then was ready to go as soon as this thing started to move. And then also, we've got Jack Beyer. He's out in the field as well, and we've split the team up here. We've got double coverage now. We've got Mary up there at the production site. It's going to go right past her. You just saw on her camera. And then Jack is out at the test site. So it's going to be going from Mary to Jack as it does the roll here. So again, a couple things moving. You can see that Starship is already out of the gate there, moving behind Starship. Can't see it from here, but I believe we've got it over on another angle. Let's see here. You see it from this one? Nope, I don't see the GSE tank from that one either. Do we have?
It's non-river.
River. There we go. You can see the GSE tank right there is hiding behind the mid-bay, but the GSE tank is moving, and also, it seems like one of those cryo shells was sneaking up towards the gate as well. We'll see if it goes out on the road and makes a turn or not. We'll see. We thought one was being moved around. We don't know if it's going, but Starship S-20, that GSE, I don't know what number GSE that is. It's too early to know what number that GSE is. If anybody knows, let me know.
It's either 6 or 3, if I'm not mistaken.
The two that they had back there.
Yeah, I think 5 is at the launch site. I think 1 and 2 are at the launch site. So I think that's either 6 or 3, but I'm not positive which one it is.
Yep. So in any event, it is going to be an eventful morning here. We're going to have lots of things to see. Remember, when things roll from the production site to the launch site, they go within a couple meters of one of our camera positions. We got a couple cameras out there. They are not crewed cameras. They are robotic cameras, actually quite advanced. They're robotic cameras, so there's not a big risk if something goes wrong. Something tumbles over or something like that. There's no human beings that would be in danger there. So we've got cameras very, very close. I do ask, if you're out there, don't get as close as you can to these things. Remember, there is a fall zone. Remember, if something goes wrong, it's very tall, and you do not want it coming down in your direction. I've seen a lot of people getting closer and closer to these things, and it's a little bit disappointing. I have a feeling there's going to be some lockdowns that start to come if people start trying to push the limits and get right up next to them. So if you're out there, amazing thing to see, really cool, but please, please, please stay a safe distance away. Don't go trying to sneak around or anything like that. Let's see here. Same as always. Go ahead, Jack.
Definitely a fast start to the morning, and I'll tell you what, you don't want to wake up. You don't want to be woken up by Mary saying, "Hey Jack, SN20 or S20 is rolling." Oh boy.
I mean, that doesn't sound like a terrible thing to wake up to.
I mean, at first, when I heard that, my immediate reaction was, "Oh crud, is it on the highway already?" And I flipped over to Starbase Live, saw that it had just been moved out of the high bay, and let me tell you, I breathed a insanely large sigh of relief at that revelation. So glad that we were able to catch it, jump on this real quick, and props to Mary for catching that thing coming out of the high bay.
Yep. Absolutely. Just real quick, I know Mary's getting the whole shot here, but here you can really see Starship S-20 or S-20 or Starship 20, whatever we're calling it this morning, and the GSE tank right behind it there. So she's going to reframe that shot in a minute. It looks like they really cleared people out. Sometimes Mary's able to get right there across from the entrance, and today they've shooed her way up towards, I guess, away from the entrance some, so there's room to get out. Maybe more crowds, like more people being drawn to these events, especially with the surge. I wonder if they're giving wider margins or something like that. But Mary's got the shot. She'll be able to reposition it here in just a minute, and we'll keep switching from one camera to the next to the next. Look at this. Sort of looking at the top, I guess you could say, or the leeward side, the side that is not towards re-entry. But if you're a fan of the thermal protection systems, look at that.
Look at the shadow of Ship 20 on the mid-bay.
Oh, good eye, Jack.
It looked even cooler from Mary's shot because it just looked like a ghost starship. Or
yeah.
I mean, that's nifty.
Yep.
I mean, it is insanely early, and they did kind of catch us off guard a little bit, but at least we're getting this beautiful sunrise lighting for ship rollout. So no complaints there.
I am not going to complain. You're right, Jack. You can see on the bottom side, the windward side, the part that actually needs the heat shielding, right? It doesn't look like they quite have all the TPS installed yet. Still some spots that need to be filled out. We saw them. Go ahead.
There is more. Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting
No, it's okay.
There are more tiles now than there were when we saw the ship rolled into the high bay. So there was a couple different seams and a couple different gaps that have now been filled. So it wouldn't surprise me if they get this thing to the pad and manage to get the rest of the tiles on relatively quick. Although I do wonder, do they stack this thing, Das, as it looks right now, or do they, spend a half a day or whatever it'll take and get the rest of the tiles on and then stack it? Or I guess third option would be stack it and then put tiles on.
I mean,
after it's stacked, but that seems like a way bigger pain than just doing it while it's on the ground, right?
It seems like a pretty big chunk of tiles that's missing right there around the middle section. If you stack it up on top of that booster, that's a long way up to go to finish stacking those tiles.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't know. I know they want it up there. That may be, something here, Jack. I can make a call. If they wait till they're on the ground, like if they put the tiles on the ground and put it up, it's not just about taking a photo of it, right? They're actually doing fit checks and stuff. But if they get this out there and they just throw it up, the most important thing to SpaceX would seem to be fit checks and actually figuring out, is the tower stable, does the meeting systems work, and all that sort of stuff, because they wouldn't really care about the tiles if that was the case. But if we're really interested in a photo op here, you would expect that potentially they would wait until they get all the tiles. But if they were doing that, why wouldn't you do it in the high bay, right?
Yeah, that would make sense. It's curious, very curious.
Yep.
I do think part of this is photo op. I do think part of this is fit checks. Like, why not both?
Why not both? Taco Bell girl.
But I do wonder, it doesn't look bad right now with that missing patch of tiles, but it also doesn't look great.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Does this configuration as we currently see it serve as a suitable article for a photo op? I don't know.
It looks like a killer whale right now. You know how they have like the patchy sort of black and white? It really looks like a Shamu sort of thing, I think. Shamu is a killer whale, right? I think so.
I tweeted a photo and multiple people are commenting it looks like a whale, which is hilarious.
Yeah. It really does. Again, folks, if you're just joining us, NASASpaceflight's live. It's hard to sneak one by us. They got us once, and we work really hard to make sure they don't get us again. But Right now, Ship 20 has already left the high bay. It is on Highway 4, roads closed. Police were really aggressive this morning. Sounded like the sheriff was really getting people out of the way because the roll was imminent. Really late notice on the road closure. Did not have a day or two notice. That road closure was just posted, I don't know the exact time, but when we checked before we shut down for the night, there was no road closure yesterday. Just guesses that potentially it might go today, and then when we woke up, all of a sudden a road closure had been posted.
They never posted it. That was the old closure that is still canceled. So
Oh, really?
a road closure was never posted for this.
No kidding. I just glanced at it this morning and I said, okay, the 5th, oh, there's a closure, but I didn't really look at it. So they never actually posted on the public county site a road closure for this?
Nope. Well,
Oh,
I
they had
guess
one and they canceled
the one
it.
that says canceled is probably
The one they're
probably
using.
canceled in error because the timing aligns 6:30 to 9, and that aligns perfectly with what we're seeing right now.
Yep. And you know something? I get the text messages from Cameron County as well whenever they do closures, and I did not receive a notification from Cameron County that the road was closed today.
I have not got a road closure for a temporary for an
Yeah, for an
intermittent.
intermittent one.
Yeah.
Intermittent one.
I haven't got a text
Ah,
for that before.
interesting. Seems like they still need some work on that system. It's not exactly clear, and it's not exactly timely sometimes, but it's a step in the right direction to help the public know what's going on, I think.
Part of me does wonder if this trend that we're seeing of the road closure posted like last minute or not at all is sort of a byproduct of what you were talking about a moment ago, Das, with the larger and larger crowds that these events are starting to attract. I wonder if that's sort of they're trying to telegraph their punch less. If that makes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, does that mean that less people will show up for a road closure? Does that mean that more people will spend more time just sitting out there waiting for the road closure?
I think that means some people who are trying to access the beach might be kind of grumpy that they didn't get any notice that their path to the beach was going to be inaccessible for a period of time.
If we actually look at Mary's camera here, you can actually see. I'm not sure if that's the closure right there, but down in the lower right-hand corner, there's just a line of cars, and I've seen it in the past where that line of cars goes all the way back almost a mile towards Brownsville, just people who were coming out there for one reason or the other. I've had a FedEx shipment. They wouldn't even let the FedEx truck go and deliver something to Starbase. So the road closure, the sheriff would not allow the FedEx truck to go up and turn into Starbase where their shipping and receiving is. And whatever they were rolling was already halfway there, but the road was still closed. And the FedEx guy's calling me on the phone like, I'm stuck here. I can't get anywhere. I can't deliver the stuff. So I definitely know that it's a big deal for all sorts of people. People trying to go to the beach, people just doing their job, delivering stuff, workers. I wonder what happens if a worker gets stuck a mile back up the road and they can't just peel through everybody on the median or anything like that, trying to, I got rockets to build, and just start going through the dirt, But anyways, folks, again, we are live. That is Starship S20. Just call it Ship 20, I guess. I keep saying Starship S20 this morning, but whatever.
No, that is correct. Starship S20 is the correct way to say it. Unfortunately, because it's like saying ATM machine. It really is. Starship Ship 20. It's just
Starship Ship 20.
It makes me grind my teeth every time. I'm not a fan of this name change, really, but I mean, I am in some way. But yeah, Starship Ship 20, Starship S20, and I don't like just saying Ship 20 because that's not very descriptive. If you don't know what a starship is.
Yeah, it gets rid of the Starship branding if you just call it Ship 20. That's too generic, honestly.
Yeah, so Starship, not bad. Ship 20, not great. Starship SD, kind of a middle ground. Not bad, not great, but it works. It's what we have to work with.
Yeah.
Dust, if you need to pull some levers and whatnot, I have the panel up and I can jump through some questions and some super chats here.
Hey, grab the super chats real quick. I'm good to go.
Far behind.
Go for it, Jack. Yeah, grab it.
Build into trains. There's one of those names we see a lot. Let's see. They say, good morning. Thank you for the support. Build into trains. I've never asked you this. What are you building into trains exactly?
Mars.
Is it other trains? Oh, we're building Okay, all right.
Ceramic trains. I've got a train that's actually made of coal, like a block of coal that they carved into a train.
What? That's quite recursive and
I don't
delightful.
know. My mom has a thing for trains, so she came back from a train trip with a train that was actually made of coal at one point. So
They
I
should
imagine
they should have a coal-fired train that only uses coal chunks that are shaped like trains.
they're shaped like trains.
And then they should install a mechanism on the smokestack so that it only blasts like train-shaped puffs. All right, we're getting too cartoony here. It's too early. Okay, Juan, thank you for the support. They say at this point, I think they only want to test the stacking of S20 with the booster and also to know the real distance for the catching fuel stacking. I bet they know the distance already. They're smart people there, building rockets, whatnot. They're literal rockets. I mean, at this point, I think there's a variety of objectives here. One of them is probably to poke the FAA with a big old Starship stainless steel stick. Say, hey, we're ready. Even if they're not necessarily 100%.
If they're not, it's almost like a bluff, like they're playing poker with the FAA, and they're like, "What?
Yeah,
We have a ship on the pad. We're ready to go. We can't wait on the government. You're so slow." But is that ship actually ready?
I mean, Das, you remember SN8? How we discovered after the fact that they launched SN8 without full approval and how that all worked. I had heard at the time that they were playing sort of a schedule chicken with the FAA, and I sort of feel like at this point we're playing schedule chicken with the FAA again. SpaceX putting a booster on the pad and saying, "Hey, we're ready. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Let us launch this. Finish up whatever it is that you're doing that is holding us up."
Who really loses, right? If the FAA says, "Well, fine, we're gonna fast track the approval here," which is not something I would want to have happen. I want to make sure everything's safely goes through the proper channels, gives the public time to do notice and all that sort of stuff. But if the FAA comes back and says, "All right, you have clearance," and then Starship doesn't launch for 6 months because it's not technically ready, that even sounds crazy. Not launched for 6 months, really? I don't think that that's a realistic statement. But I think we will see. Is there another nose cone outside of the windbreak?
Yes.
There is.
Yeah, I didn't have time to photograph it this morning, but there's already a new nose cone outside the windbreak, and it looks like it's already ready for flap install practically. I mean, the mounts are there. It's a pretty fully formed nose cone. So
yeah, and we're just on this scene here, y'all. We're just looking and. Not this one anymore. Geez, I just switched to this one. But there's a nose cone. We'll see it in a bit as Ship 20 goes. This looks so cool. I'm sorry. I was supposed to be saying something about a nose cone, but then I saw this camera.
super cool.
It almost looks like pixelated graphics. The way the hexagonal tiles are sort of put on the side. If you glance at it, you're like, is that full resolution? What is that? Does my graphics card need to be updated? But no, it's just the way that the tiles work.
It kind of messes with your eyes a little bit. Gene from Space Padre was saying that on Twitter he responded to one of my photos and said, he just said, all I see is hexagonal pixels, and I just responded, pixagons. That's a whole bunch of pixagons, just pixels that are hexagonal shaped in this.
Yep. Again, folks, as you can see on the screen, Ship 20 is moving. It's already on Highway 4. It is approaching the first turn here, I guess. It came out, it turned onto Highway 4, and it's coming up to the Y, is where LBJ Boulevard sort of hits Highway 4. Right there at the restaurant is going to be up here to the right just a little bit. But it is already well on its way to the launch site, and right behind it you can see it's a parade this morning. That's a GSE tank. I don't have yet exactly what number GSE that was, either 3 or 6. Is it 6 for sure?
I think it's 6. I'm not positive, but I think it.
Yeah, we'd have to scroll back and see which one moved, but right now we're a little busy watching the live Starship move. So in any event, we're going to be seeing this entire thing roll out. It's going to come just like you saw. Hey, if you saw the booster come out, it's going to come right past our camera positions right here on the highway, up close and personal. So we are going to get some great shots. The lighting is fantastic. 7:41 a.m. Central Daylight Time there. We're going to get some fantastic views of this thing as it comes by. And then remember, Jack, who's on comms with me, is actually all the way out at the launch site. So we've got it rolling away from Mary's camera. And here's Mary's camera. We can see it's sort of rolling off the side of her picture there. And it's coming towards our highway cameras. which are right here. And then it's going to pass the highway cameras and go all the way out towards Jack. So the entire time we fielded the entire NSF team here, both Jack and Mary out there, all the robots ready to go. So we're going to have views of this thing the entire time. Whew.
Yeah, right now my view of that direction is blocked by the orbital tank farm.
Yep.
But at a certain point here, I'm going to have to shut my mouth and get a camera going. But until then, we got a little bit of time before it gets close. Although this one is cooking. I gotta say, of all Starship rollouts, I feel like this one's going the fastest. That might just be anecdotal on my part. I haven't done a spreadsheet or anything, but this thing is cooking. Like, they were ready. They were absolutely just ready to go this morning. Let me read some more super chats here. Christopher, thank you for the support. They say, let's go. Hey guys, I got a job now, so I can super chat without feeling bad. Yesterday I was excited, but I'm more excited.
Congrats, Christopher. Awesome. Yeah, congrats on the job. That's a big deal.
Yeah, congrats. It's income. Who knew? It's really important. But seriously, thanks for giving us a cup of coffee here and there. That $4.99 is super, super appreciated. And we know you work hard for it, so thank you. It's appreciated even more in that respect. Mike Johnson, thank you for the support. They say, I hope they stack it tomorrow. It's my birthday tomorrow. Well, happy birthday, Mike, in advance. Here's a little fun bit of buyer family trivia. My mom is from Iran, and that's on the other side of the world. So in my family, the day before your birthday, we call it your Iranian, because technically in Iran, it's your birthday. And so you get to open one present on your Iranian birthday.
Okay.
If you can guess what it is. So open a present for yourself, Mike. It's your Iranian birthday today. Happy Iranian. Christopher, again, thank you, buddy. Now don't spend all your hard-earned job money on us. It's a question. What's your favorite SN launch? Mine is unquestionably 8. Starhopper and SN6. I'm not counting those as SN launches, but of the Starship low altitude series that we saw, high altitude, whatever it was, I think 8 is probably my favorite. What about you, Das? Do you have a favorite?
I like them all.
There you go. They're like your children. You don't want to pick one.
No, I mean, really, like, every time one launches, it's exciting, and we certainly haven't got. I was excited. I was excited about 11 too. We didn't know if it was going to go, and then all we got was sound. And then, how could you say SN11 wasn't exciting? There was literally car-sized pieces of stainless steel raining around Danger Cam. How is that not exciting to you?
I'll have to send you some photos. There's photos of me while SN11 was in the air, and of course we see nothing because it was fogged out. And so it's just me looking utterly despondent because I know that there's a Starship in the air less than 5 miles from our position. Yet it was not visible. But you're right. It was extremely exciting for a short period of time there while debris was raining down around our camp. Let's see. Andy Kruger, thank you for the support. They say maybe they are going with rolling these things because it isn't easy to get road closures, so decided to roll now and finish the TPS after. Maybe. But they don't even have a road closure technically.
Well, that's correct that they don't technically have the road closure, but it's also maybe makes sense because they try not to do it on the weekends. Intermittent a little bit different because they wouldn't be completely closing the beach, because that's a bigger deal when you tell all of Cameron County, hey, Saturday, yeah, you can't go to the beach. Sorry, that's not a thing. SpaceX, Mars is more important, et cetera, et cetera. Some people just want to go to the beach. So maybe it has something to do with getting out there before the weekend. I don't know. One way or the other, they're going. I mean, they're on the way right now, so.
Let's see. Luke,
oh, no, chat. It's about to go off the corner of the screen. Whatever shall we do? We don't want to lose the view or anything, do we? Suddenly, look at the sun.
If only we could control this camera from a distance using software.
Jeez. I actually switched to Mars Cam. Michael had Mars Cam zoomed in on the forward TPS there. And you can sort of see the parts that don't have TPS are like around the joints. So the aero cover up at the front of the flap, some of the areas around the flaps, the attach points, those 6 attach points near the top of the nose cone, and then the seam of the nose cone where the nose cone meets the actual circular barrel sections. So that is...
if you think about it, they just stacked that nose cone, yesterday? Like not last night, but the night before? In the last 24 to 36 hours, they have stacked that nose cone and welded it to the Starship tank section. And so, there's going to be patches where there's not tiles yet because I literally just stacked it. But
Yeah.
I wonder, you know, is this good enough for a photo op, or they just don't even care? Any photo of a full stack on the pad is sufficient. I'm curious how this is going to go, because I fully expect them to, if the winds permit, get this thing to the launch site and stack it today. That's a question here from Coalescence Connor.
Yep.
They're asking, will we see a full stack soon? And I think we can see a full stack as soon as today.
Look at this. Look at this real quick. You can see the section where the tiles are missing, and you can actually see that underlayer behind it, that white underlayer there. So that, I mean, that's like the size of a house, probably. That's a big section of tiles that's missing. Maybe it's like 1 story tall or something. But certainly some work still to be done. Also some connections or something looks like they're not stacked. And that seam as well. We don't see any tiles around that seam, but that underlayment is sort of something they've been putting underneath the tiles. So, God, I love the way that the sun reflects off these tiles.
Yeah, they're so beautiful. They're really just so beautiful. The hexagons are the bestigons. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. But I would like to underscore, you said that patch is probably like the size of a house. It's really easy to have your scale go all wonky with these vehicles because they're so huge.
Yep.
And distances involved vary so dramatically. So one thing I want to underscore is it's a 9-meter diameter vehicle, right? So 9 meters is what, like 28 feet, something like that? Almost 30 feet, 27 feet, somewhere in there. So Mary and I were actually, we were chatting the other night, last night maybe, it's all a blur now. And we were trying to figure out, she was commenting on the time that, you know, when she realized how large a single ring section actually was. And I was like, well, hang on, it's 9 meters. And so I started at one end of the living room and, you know, using my feet, which are about a foot long, walked 27 steps, and I was clear on the other side of the room. And so each ring is 6 foot tall. So if it's a 2-ring high section, still needs TPS, that is essentially like a 12-foot high living room sized. Does that make sense? Like, it's huge. There's a huge amount of area. And I'm not saying they couldn't get tiles on it rapidly if they wanted to or planned to. That's totally a thing. I just wanted to underscore, like, 27-meter diameter vehicles, huge. It's like the size of your living room. Like, next time you're wondering, you know, trying to get a sense of scale for these things, pace out 27 steps, and you'll see what the size of these things are. And it's utterly massive. Look at
27 steps, like 27 steps walking, or like heel to toe, like you put the next foot down and heel to toe. Okay. I gotta clarify exactly how we're gonna measure. Agree on our unit of measure, I guess, right?
Yeah, 1 foot equals 1 human foot in this case.
There you go.
Look at that. The way that the sun glints off those tiles is so beautiful.
It really is.
And I keep seeing that GSE tank behind it and thinking, oh, what the hell?
What's going on? It's the support system. They need to keep it pressurized, and they keep some consumables with it as it rolls down the road. I made that up.
In my head, I see GSE tank, and I think production site. And so I see the shot, and I'm like, wait, I thought we're well past. And it's like, oh, right. There's a GSE tank following close behind. So no cryo shell, though, right? Just a GSE tank and a Starship.
It seems like we saw some of the GSE tanks shuffling around, but I don't think we see any on the road right now. So,
see that?
Yep. Again, folks.
Cryo shell, not GSE tank.
So, yeah, sorry. What did I say? Did I say GSE tanks?
Yes.
We see a GSE tank on the road. It's right there behind Starship, but we saw the cryo shell shuffling around. We don't see a cryo shell on the road right now. That's the right way to say it, right?
Yep.
Okay, good deal. Sorry about that. Talking fast sometimes.
No worries, it's early.
It really is. And I'm going to swatch over here real quick. This is Mary's shot again, all the way back from the gate where it came out, but you can see already made significant progress down the road from the production site. And that's Ship 20 and the GSE behind it. So now they keep the road closed. It's not like, okay, it's made it up there, you could just, you know, go behind it. So they usually keep the road closed to keep people anywhere nearby away. And I don't know if they'll open it up to the wire or anything like that here in a bit, but we will see what happens.
Yep. Let's see. Ross H23 says, "Tell Jack he's not alone with being woke up by this rollout." I think we kind of all were. And Shank asking, "Anyone else notice the cryo shells moving around like all of them?" Yep, that's what we were just talking about. And let's see. Lewis asking, "Can Booster 4 hold the weight of Ship 20 while unfueled, or will it be pressurized to be able to support the weight?" Thanks for the awesome. You're welcome, Lewis. I think it'll be pressurized. I mean, they transport them pressurized. I think it just makes sense to have some pressure in Booster 4. I don't know how much. Maybe not flight pressure, but some pressure for structural rigidity. I mean, just think back to, what was it, serial number 3?
Look at the screen.
Did the crumple
sorry.
pop?
I'm
No, you're
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry. Like I once again glanced over and I'm like, oh my gosh, look where Michael's pointed the camera, and it's getting closer and closer to those cameras there on the highway. So sorry about that,
Amazing.
Jack. I just started giggling all of a sudden.
No, that's beautiful. No worries. Are there cars just passing it on the highway? What is that?
That was a security car. It had a light bar on top. Look at this.
Good.
Look at how close the GSE tank is behind.
They're friends.
Slow down, GSE tank.
GSE 6 and S20 are best friends.
Yeah. Is that a compression or an optical illusion? It looks like the GSE tank is like coming up on the back of it fast here.
I'll tell you one way you can find that out, Das. Be a different camera.
But I'm not.
I'm not saying
changing
switch
off this
away.
camera.
I'm not saying switch away. I'm saying look at your thing that shows you all the different angles.
Is it gonna pass? The SPMTs extend in front of what they're carrying, and from this angle, it seriously looks like the GSE tank is about to pass Ship 20.
It does. It looks like Ship 20 is almost stopped, right?
It's moving very slowly, but wait, no,
Nope,
that's
behind the flap.
behind the flap. It's just that big. Oh my gosh.
Optic.
How do they work?
Yeah, how do they work exactly? Thank you.
Why is the GSE tank going so fast? It's like pedal to the metal coming up on the back of Starship here.
It's like, wait up, come on. Ship
Pump
20's
the
like,
brakes.
nah, I gotta go stack. Yeah, that's wild. That's cool shot all around. Good point, Michael.
I don't understand how camera lenses work at all, or that GSE tank is about to pass the ship.
No, I don't think it's gonna pass. I think that was
It's
just
on the
an optical
turn.
illusion.
It's got to be on the turn. That's got to be what it is. Yeah, it's on the turn. It's
There's no way there's enough room on the road.
No,
for
I was like,
pass.
there's no way that can even be possible. It's the ship has come around the turn. Let's back off. It's a little bit more context to get here. The ship has come around the turn, and it looked like the ship was coming sort of straight at us, and the GSE tank was still going horizontally, so it looked like there was a really big speed differential between the two when you're on that tight, closed-in camera shot, but realistically, it was just, that's how big these things are, y'all. I mean, they're so big, you sort of lose your context sometimes, and on that tight shot where we were admiring all the tiles, it was really difficult to just understand what was happening visually. But, you back off, you get a little perspective. A lot of things in life could use that. And you can sort of see the reality of the situation here. So it's super exciting. Look, I just saw the GSE tank, and it looked like it was pedal to the metal about to catch up with the ship. Now we've got an eclipse almost going on here.
Super, super cool. You want to read some more these super chats here?
Real quick, I'm going to jump over to the beach angle, and there you can see from this different angle the actual separation between the two, y'all. That was an optical illusion because the Starship had made the turn, the GSE tank hadn't made the turn yet, and that is what was going on. Still plenty of separation there. Nobody's playing a game of chicken. It's not like a race to the launch site or anything like that. That was just a perspective and the fact that I haven't had enough caffeine this morning. How's that?
I mean, we're playing chicken. It's just with the FAA, not with Starship. Let's see. I'll jump through some more super chats here. I'll let you grab a cup of coffee. Luke, thank you for the support. They say, are they going to put serial number 20? It's not serial number 20 anymore. I wish it was, but it's not. It's ship just S20, no N. Are they going to put S20 on suborbital pad first? or do a static fire and then put it on B4. So there's nowhere for them to do a static fire with a ship right now. Suborbital Pad B has the thrust rams installed. Thrust rams are not compatible with a Starship with engines installed. So they cannot put S-20 on Suborbital Pad B. Cannot put S-20 on Suborbital Pad A because Suborbital Pad A has been modified to hold a Super Heavy and is currently holding Booster 3. So literally the only place at the launch site they could put it is on top of Booster 4. So, and they're not going to static fire while it's on top of Booster 4. So it's literally they're going to stack it and do a fit check. And if they want to do a static fire, they will have to do that once one of the suborbital pads is cleared up. And I suspect they'll take the engines off and throw the entire ship on suborbital pad B without engines, go through a cryo. Same as we've seen with SN8 and other Starship vehicles. So that's a really good question, Luke. Thank you for the support there. It seems like it's going straight to the orbital pad and straight on top of Booster 4. That's why earlier someone asked if we could see a full stack today or when we would see a full stack, and I said maybe as soon as today.
Yep,
You know
and look
what?
at this. Look at this shot, y'all. It is getting closer and closer to those cameras. Michael has, this is Mars cam. This is our tracking cam. The entire purpose of this camera is to smoothly track things. And look at these close-up shots. It's still getting closer and closer. I'm interested in what we're going to see on the bottom of it. I don't know if we're going to be low enough to the ground to actually see any engine bells because of the skirt on the Starship and the way that that goes. We know that yesterday was just a mind-blowing day with the 29 Raptors hanging off the bottom of Booster 4. But look at the tiles here. I love the fact that they're not even all the same color. Like they have a little bit different sheen, and it looks like dragon scales, honestly.
It does. I would love to know what that is. Is it just like certain batches of the tile have a slightly different color for whatever
They're just
reason?
Dusty. They were in a box or something.
They cured in the oven slightly differently. Or, yeah, I have questions, but
again, y'all, this is really cool. That is the TPS. If you hear us say TPS, that is Thermal Protection System. And it's just a fancy way of saying the ceramic tiles that are on the bottom of the Starship here. This is the tiles that will reject the heat, that don't transmit a lot of the heat, I guess is really the right way to say it there, as Starship re-enters through the atmosphere, protecting the ship from all of the heat of re-entry. So it's a serious situation to go slamming into the atmosphere so fast that you shove it out of the way so hard that it actually heats up. And Starship will be better off with this protection. If I say Starship needs this protection, somebody's going to argue with me. Well, actually, stainless steel. But in any event, it really makes it look like a spacecraft. There's that big aft flap. And you can see in some areas the tiles are really nice and consistent, really easy to sort of tessellate the tiles all the way across the body, just the hexagons following the curve of the main barrel of the body of Starship there. And then other parts a lot more complicated. We saw those flaps come in, and the tiles were already on the flaps, like they were custom made. There's looking for that bottom shot. Oh, we're going to be right there. I don't know if I see an engine bell.
Here's the thing, though. Like, normally this kind of shot would be useful to us because we don't know if there's engines on the vehicle or not, right?
Yep.
In this case, we know.
We
There's
know.
6 engines on this vehicle right now. There's 3 Raptor vacuum engines and there's 3 sea level engines. And unless they took them off since Elon posted that photo, there's our engines on this. It's not a matter of guesswork. They're just there. So. Bummer that we're not low enough to see, but is what it is. We're getting amazing views either way. Hey, we're 23 minutes behind on super chats. I'm gonna try and keep up on some of these, if you don't mind.
It's gonna be tough to go through super chats because it's just about to go as close to our camera as possible, so we may hold off on those till it goes by. Look at this.
Okay,
I mean, it's going right by the cameras now.
Copy that.
So
I'm starting to get antsy. I gotta set my camera. I don't miss anything, but I also literally can't see it yet.
Jack,
but
as soon as it goes by our cameras here, I think you should start setting up.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
I think that's the right thing to do. And Michael's on the track, and so I'm going to make sure all the other cameras are good to go. And here we go. God, look at that. Go back over to this camera so we can see the top of it. That's one of the things that's hard to actually frame the camera so you can see the whole thing as it goes by. I'm really curious to see what's going to go on. It's interesting to me that that section is not yet completed. Oh my gosh. Look at this. There's that. You can actually see how thick the tiles are there too. It's curious to me that that's not completed, because that seems like a easier section to work on. It's the normal curve of the barrel of the main body. You can actually see some damage to some of the tiles there. A couple little nicks and scratches out of them, it looks like. Interesting.
Yeah,
if you
there's a
nick
good
one of
number
these, they're white
cracked-looking
underneath.
Tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a styrofoam
Yep.
consistency underneath the black outer surface.
It feels like styrofoam as well. Y'all, if you've picked up a tile like in your bathroom, and you're like, oh, a tile, that's kind of heavy, right? It's ceramic tile. These are ultra lightweight. They've got a lot of free space or air in them, right? Because they don't want to absorb the heat. And so if you pick up one of these tiles, it actually feels like picking up a piece of styrofoam. They're so light. They're so not dense, I guess is the right way to say it. It really is crazy exactly what these things feel like. So
Yep. Yeah, holding
hop
one,
over
even knowing that it's going to be light, it's still like, oh my god, it's so light. Mind blowing.
Yep. We'll let that other camera come back real quick. It's almost off this one, then I'm going to adjust this one, then I'll adjust the other one. Gotta let the GSE tank go by. There we go. Right there. That's what we were looking for. You can actually see the engine bells, 3 vacuum Raptors, those massive engine bells underneath. And then also there is a couple, there's 3 of the sea level Raptors. Michael going for the full zoom. This is probably like 20% zoom, actually. Look at that.
Good deal, Michael. Way to go.
Nice, Michael.
Look at that.
That's cool. So again, it's got all 6 engines underneath it there. It's got 3 of the vacuum Raptors, the Raptors with the big, massive engine bells to optimize for out there where there's no oxygen, where there's no atmosphere. And then it's also got 3 of the sea level Raptors that are optimized for down where there's air pressure, I guess is the right way to say it. Just differences in the way you optimize those engines. And Starship is supposed to fly both places. It's supposed to land in the atmosphere down at sea level, and it's supposed to fly up out of the atmosphere. So it's got those sea level and the vacuum Raptors. So, God.
Just so cool to see an orbital capable ship rolling out from the launch site for the first time.
Yep.
Seeing so many things that we've been talking about and speculating about for so long. What does a full heat shield look like on Starship? When are they going to get around to doing that? Do the flaps have tiles on? What do the curved tiles look like? It's just so cool. Look at that.
Look at that.
We're going to get a 2001 moment here where the obelisk eclipses the sun or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be. We're going to have a monkey throw a bone and it's shot and we'll match cut it. Match cut. Great. Look at. All right,
that's just cool.
I'm going to get my camera up. I can no longer resist the urge to do so.
Yeah, sounds good, Jack.
Yep. Sorry to leave you high and dry, but I'll be listening in if I want to chime in about anything. You know me, I will. But
we know, Jack. You will. It's all good. Y'all, that's the voice of Jack Beyer. He's out there. Also, Mary, Boca Chica gal, they're both out there. Mary graced us with the fantastic up-close shots as it was leaving the production site, and Jack is on the other end of Starbase. Jack is all the way down there near the test site. He's past the structures in the distance on this site, waiting for it to come this way. So, NSF team tag teaming it. I just said team twice, but whatever. Both the NSF team members out there tag teaming, working together to get you coverage from all angles this morning. So this is just a fantastic thing to see. Ship 20 again rolling out from the production site where they build them, where they assemble them, literally rot from raw materials out at the production site into starships and tanks and all sorts of equipment, boosters, GSE equipment, everything that you need in order to actually make these a flight-capable system. SpaceX is not playing around. This isn't something they're just like, well, I don't know, maybe in 2026 we'll have a Starship, and then like 2030 we'll go to the moon. It has been pedaled to the metal here as they work on pushing this prototype development system forwards. So I think that I'm being joined here once again by another NSF friend, Chris Gebhardt. Do we have you on comms? Not quite yet, maybe.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Sorry, there are two volume buttons for protection, and I forgot the second one.
Aha.
Good morning, Daz. How's it going, man?
We're just watching these shots run past. Yeah. Look at this.
Oh,
the
sorry.
silhouette shot.
I mean, it's a gorgeous shot. Sorry, that's all I was saying. It looks like we've got a twofer this morning too.
Yeah. The GSE tank. I don't know if that's GSE 6 or GSE 3. I know those are the two that were back at the site, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not. But doing a little bit of a parade this morning.
Man, what I love about that image of it going out to the orbital, I mean, like the framing, the camera angle, the morning sunrise shot is just like amazing. But what I love is that the booster that's visible is not the one it's going to be stacked on.
Yeah. Well, from here you could just barely see two boosters.
I know.
Hidden behind the silhouette of the tower, because the sun is behind it, you can sort of see the other booster, but the tower would normally be in the way from this angle, and only because the sun is out there you can really see that it's there.
Is this I'm trying to orient myself this early in the morning. Did they just pass the halfway mark?
They just passed the highway mark where our highway cameras are. But I don't.
Okay.
I need to measure. Look at that.
Oh, is it raining?
I don't believe that it's raining on the cameras. That looks like water just cascading
Off the ships.
off. I'm pretty sure that's the GSE tank.
Yeah.
Certainly just rainwater on the top sloshing off or
Yeah.
something like that. I mean,
I'm willing to
Wow.
bet it's humidity. I mean, that's a guess, but it's so humid. I mean, my camera lens is fogged up right now, having gotten that far. So, yep.
it looks like it's stopped. You know what my guess is going to be? I think there may be something up there that was an indention that was holding water, and then when it went down the road, it may have gotten a little bit less level that let all that water cascade off the side. It certainly didn't keep going for any amount of time, but that was interesting to see. It was probably just draining out as it got a little bit different. Oh, there it goes again.
It looks like, so we've talked a lot about keeping things level.
Yeah.
There might be different levels of level.
Different levels of levels. Nice.
Yeah, like the taller you get, the more like rock solid, no tilt you would want, right? But the shorter you are to the ground, the more that they sort of hug that and lower that center of mass down on the SPMTs. Some smaller things like a GSE tank can probably be rolled 5 degrees,
Yeah.
or so.
And remember, yesterday we had those massive thunderstorms that came through. Phase 2 lightning cleared all the work out. Lots of rain we saw on the cameras. That's actually what stopped the lift a little bit earlier, it looked like. They sort of spooled down all the operations because those storms were coming through. So it's perfectly possible that something up there got a little filled with water, and it's just sort of draining out or getting, I don't think it's very windy, like getting blown off by the wind or anything like that. Anyways, the progression continues here, y'all. You can see over here from the beach angle. I've got them doing one of those time lapses, right? Like the Looney Tunes, where you've got the they start on one side and they go da-da-da-da-da all the way across, right?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
So-
I am just marveling. Joining the stream, I'm just marveling at the fact that is so certainly not the complete set of tiles.
Yes, it's got a big section, probably like 1 story tall, where they've got the underlayment. It's like a white underlayment on there, and then the tiles are not installed. I was surprised by that because it seems like that's the easy part to install. It's just a normal curved barrel, right? Maybe there's something special about that segment that they don't want it. Maybe there's something that may shift. I don't know if that makes sense. Not exactly sure why it doesn't have those tiles on it. Did they run out of tiles? Like they're waiting on a shipment of tiles to come in? I don't know the answer.
I have a feeling they wanted it to roll today, so it was rolling today no matter how it looked. You know what I mean, Das?
Yep. Look
At the breakneck speed they've been going, yeah.
Look at this.
Wow. Good question, though, here from Alan saying, is it just the TPS distorting the picture, or do the flaps for Starship ship 2020? Looks well, and I appreciate the joke there, Alan, about what we call it. The flaps are installed. The flaps might be slightly different in size than what we've seen previously. I know Elon had talked somewhat about the exact sizing of the flaps might not stay as the design accelerates, but what's probably more getting you than that is the fact that they are tucked in. They are pulled back to their full retract position, so they are not extended outward.
Yep.
So in some of our angles, it does look like that they look a bit different, and it's probably the black TPS tiles that are helping with that. But they're all four there. They're just pulled in kind of tight and snug around the vehicle for transport.
Yeah. This shot right here, y'all, with the morning haze sort of graying out everything in the background, like all the GSE and the tower and everything, and then in the foreground, the silhouette of the Starship and the GSE. This is a crazy shot right here.
It so is.
Wow. About to go in front of the tower there. Look at this. And you can see here, I know the color differential isn't really there, but you can see the backside. We say the leeward side. It's not a mountain or anything, but it's the side that is not going through the re-entry heat. Like the side of the air, the atmosphere is not hitting. It's sort of the backside that would be shadowed a little bit as it's going into re-entering the atmosphere. You can see how the tiles don't go all the way around the back there, but you can also see some areas around the flaps where the tiles extend back up onto the leeward side a little bit more. You get the flaps and you can get a little bit of turbulence as the airflow goes around those surfaces that are jutting out. And so turbulent air is probably more likely, and I'm sort of guessing based on some aerospace knowledge here, but the turbulent air is more likely to sort of stick to the backside of the barrel as opposed to shearing off of it. Shear's the wrong word there, but I wonder if that's why those tiles need to extend onto the back a little bit, just areas where turbulence will cause some of the heating to creep past the curve a little bit, you know?
Exactly what I was thinking too, because we had seen some of the flaps from earlier, right? Like on some of the test starships that have come before. And we had somewhat speculated that maybe this has to do with the flaps or the aero surface's orientation during re-entry. Elon seemed to indicate that the upper surfaces of them wouldn't have any, but yeah, like the sort of wrapping effect of the atmosphere as the vehicle comes in and as everything flows around it. I was wondering how far past centerline some of those tiles might go, because we did see that on other vehicles that use tiles, like the X-37B for the Air Force, and the shuttle had tiles that sort of wrapped up, to help protect areas where, as the airflow would come over the vehicle and the plasma flow would come over the vehicle, where they would need better protection on some of the upper surfaces than they would otherwise. So, definitely following the historical pattern. Also, definitely following the historical pattern of a tiled vehicle arriving for a first orbital flight without all of its tiles.
That's a normal thing.
Yeah, shout out to Ship 20 doing its best Shuttle Columbia impression, arriving with a bunch of things missing. But yes, we are getting a lot of questions, and it is not anyone's imagination. There are quite a few tiles that are still missing from Ship 20. So you're not seeing anything that isn't there. Your eyes aren't playing a trick on you. And Jack, I think I interrupted you there. Sorry, man.
No, you're good. I just want to be stupid for a second. Slight digression. Shuttle has such a cool name. Shuttle. You can say shuttle. Everyone knows shuttle. I wish X-37B had a better name. X-37B sounds cool and like futuristic and sci-fi and kind of governmenty. That's kind of fun, right? Like an X-plane.
Right.
But, I don't know. I just kind of wish it had a cooler name. Like Dream Chaser. What a cool name. Shuttle. What a cool name. Space Shuttle. Like, I don't know. We should
Right?
we should workshop a better name for the X-37B. But I digress. I'm gonna go set up my camera. Bye.
Go set up your camera. It's already way past the spot where I told you to go set up your camera, Jack. Jeez. Again, this shot is making my job easy here because I'm just gonna leave it on this shot as everything rolls by.
But now I do have a question, because if I am looking at this correctly, it looks like Frankencrane is still, as we predicted, very much attached to Booster 4. So we are basically thinking that these are going to go into the sort of turn-in at the orbital launch site, and sort of like with Booster 4, it rolled out one day and was stacked another day, or at the least we are not expecting stacking immediately upon its arrival.
I'll get you a full answer on that. I'm sort of I'm squinting through the tower there because you can only see it in silhouette, but I still see the block for the big crane, and I see the slings for the big crane, those nylon slings at the top. I see the spreader bar up there, and I'm trying to guess whether or not the spreader bar is low enough that it hasn't been detached yet. When I get the beach camera back, the beach is actually doing a time lapse of them rolling by. And as soon as I get that, I'll look at the top of that and tell you yes or no, it is absolutely still connected. I'm waiting for the GSE tank to roll off of the beach angle, and then I'll bring it around and we'll have a look at the top there. I think you're correct though. I just gauging by the silhouette here, I think that the crane is still 100% attached to the top of Booster 4 on the table.
Gotcha, yeah. Which and again, that would make sense, right? Based on some other things that we've seen in terms of how quickly they move, and then once things are attached, what the process is. Not surprising here today. But just wanted to say, Adam, thank you so much for the new membership. Rayman as well. A lot of new members are coming in and joining here, and just wanted to make sure that we were noting those as they came in. So Noah as well, thank you for the new membership. Alexander as well, thank you so much. That type of recurring monthly support really does help us bring you not just live streams like this, but also that sweet 24/7 stream that Das, Michael, Mary, and Jack have worked so hard on getting up and running, both from behind the scenes and out there in the field. And I know, Das, you did both of those.
Chris, I was amazed yesterday. I think we had somewhere around 10,000 people watching the no commentary, 24/7 stream. I'm not going to say unattended because we call it like a curated stream. So we are there sort of pointing the cameras and changing the scenes based on what's going on. But almost 10,000 people were hanging out watching what was going on at Starbase.
Amazing.
That's cool.
Amazing. Yes.
Yep.
And to just watch so many people be as excited about it as we are, to just watch all of this starting to come together is amazing. I mean, I know I can't wait to see the ship actually stacked on top of the booster. It's gonna 100%. Be incredible. Gonna be incredible. But Dan, thank you so much for the new membership, and Victoria for the new membership. Thank you so much. And to all of you who are just giving super chats with no questions, thank you so much. We'll be calling some of them out, but we'll be rolling through some of the non-question super chats on screen here as well. But thank you so much for the support, and thank you all for getting up early if you're in the US with us, and good evening if you are in Australia, China, Japan, Southeast Asia, and good day wherever you are around the world. Thanks for joining us.
Real really quickly, Chris. It does look like the crane is still attached to the top of the booster there. You can see the load-bearing points between the two grid fins. It does still seem like it has that little last-mile strap or sling attached. So we're going to, before they can lift the ship anywhere, ship 20 anywhere, we're going to have to see the crane detach from the top of the booster there, I think.
Yes, indeed. And it'll be interesting to see what work they do with ship at the production site. Like, are we going to see, cherry pickers or whatever those cranes are called? I don't know what they're called. Don't at me.
You want to know what they're called? You want to know what they're called?
Sure, I'm not going to remember, but you can tell me.
They're aerial work platforms, and the big ones...
Aerial work platforms? Really?
Aerial work platforms, yes. And the big ones are truck-mounted aerial work platforms.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They are professional height access devices. Actually, the service is called Professional Height Access. And the name of the platforms, the name of the actual equipment is aerial work platforms or truck-mounted aerial work platforms. You know how I know?
Because you asked a crane guy.
No, I actually
Oh,
got a call from the owner of the company that makes the hugest lifts that they use out there. I had
no
placed a
way.
call yesterday, and I actually spoke with the owner of the company, and he chatted with me for, 20, 25 minutes or something like that. I was asking all sorts of questions about statistics and how do they work and what can they do and all sorts of stuff. So, yes, truck-mounted aerial work platforms provided by
Rock.
Alpha Platform there.
I feel like I'm not awake enough, and I need to write that down, but I don't know where my pen has gone. So that's
It's in
another
It's in
slight
Live
problem.
Facts. Check out Live Facts. I have all
It's in
the
Live Facts,
summary of
perfect.
the information is over in our fact channel.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yep,
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
doing work over here, Chris. I was on the
Uh,
broadcast, but I wasn't doing commentary, and I literally just picked up the phone and called the number for the company, and they were fantastic. They were absolutely fantastic, giving us information about what's being used out there. And again, that's the big
Sweet.
ones,
Love it.
the big ones, the big super
The
high.
wind turbine ones, right?
Yeah, the wind turbine ones. Yeah, exactly. The smaller ones, like the ultra booms and stuff like that, those are the ones you were originally talking about, Chris. But
So what
Okay.
you're saying is you're working on a live stream from one of those from that company.
boilers, jeez.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, we talk about you riding around in various equipment. You know, you driving around in a backhoe, you on a boat. I mean, yeah, let's get you in a what did you call
Aerial
it?
work platform. Aerial work platform. It just
Yeah,
rolls
let's
right
do it.
off the tongue, doesn't it?
Uh,
I
oh,
switched
I
over to
love
this.
the.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You were going to say the same thing.
Yeah, I switched over to this view really quickly, and the difference between the ship with the black tiles on it and then the shiny stainless steel, like look at the difference there. This is again a wider shot from the beach. The sun's still sort of coming up. It's only 8:23 a.m. out there, and we still have a ways to go, but the ship is slowly approaching the test site, it looks like.
It does. I love the juxtaposition of what we've seen previously as these from this shot in particular, right? As they come down that final stretch toward after making the turn from the production site there. But I love the fact that you can see the patches where there aren't tiles on ship,
Yep.
and just watching oh gosh, what would we say, 80-90% tiled? I wish Ian was here. He's probably counted them all.
Yeah.
I love.
Probably 90%, like 80 to 90% tile. I would agree with that. Just eyeballing it and making a total guess, you know.
Right? Yeah.
And that's
The
of the
crazy part
intended
is
tiles.
he's probably counted them all, and then he's probably going to count them again once they finally get more on. Like he's counted them all at least once, is I guess what I'm saying. Which Ian, you are kind of crazy.
He is exactly our kind of crazy. Yeah.
For sure.
Uh,
We're going with a silhouette shot here all of a sudden, so you can see that's booster 3 in the background. That's on suborbital pad A, and that is not what Starship is supposed to be stacked on. It's supposed to go all the way over to booster 4, which is off frame to the right here. But speaking of the silhouette shots, we've got another progress bar angle over here. You can just see, this isn't really what this camera position is meant for. This sort of watches the production yard where they're building things, the assembly yard back there, the cryo shells and stuff are. But every now and then I'll turn it towards the launch site, and you can just barely see the Starship sticking up above the mesquite scrub there, heading on its way over to where it's supposed to be mounted. And the crazy thing is, the Starship's going to go on top of the booster over there on the right-hand side. And when you look at it from this perspective, you'll be able to see the Starship right next to the tower on top of the booster. That is going to be a crazy shot.
it really, really will. It really, really will. Got a good question here from Rough Rider Show saying, Love and Jax, thanks for all that you do. Maybe we'll meet Elon's August 5th stack goal. We'll see. There are several hours left in August 5th by my calculation. But also saying, appreciate also time for Jack's daily weather report. How are the conditions? Do we have the little weather overlay there? Because I'm looking at the radar too. There are some spotty showers out over the Gulf and a little bit inland, but nothing in the immediate area
Yeah. It looks like a
Boca
beautiful
Chica
morning
and
out there right
Starbase.
now.
It really does. I mean, 83. It's already hot, but that's no that's not something the folks down there are strangers to, shall we say?
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
It's just about
ahead, yeah.
the flap. The forward flap is just barely sticking on the edge there. Glanced over. So again, this is one of the things we do. Like sometimes we're going to get a really great shot from a camera, and so we don't move it until the shot is done. And so you'll see this shot in the daily video. Remember, we do the live streams, but we still edit a video every single day, a summary of what was going on. Not everybody can watch 2, 3, 4, 5-hour live streams where the action is constrained or spread out over hours of time. So we still do the daily videos, and this camera was not moving so that we could get, when we speed it up, do the time lapse, Starship going all the way across the frame. So that GSE tank will go all the way over there too, and then you will see that in the daily video here on the channel. If you haven't yet, make sure you toss a follow. You click the little button, just ring the bell or whatever the cool kids say. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't know what the cool kids say, but if you want to see some time lapse, if you want to see a short form version of the events of the day, whether it happened at the high bay, over at their test site, something out on the beach, birds make an appearance, all sorts of wildlife out there. Whatever's going on around Boca Chica, Mary has been out there since this started. Like since SpaceX started to weld things together in a tent, Mary has a house there. And she has been documenting the progression of Starbase for years at this point, and still every single day that daily video sharing what's going on out there with the entire rest of the world. Every one of these videos is getting 100,000 plus, it's 150, sometimes 200,000 views. Unique people all over the world seeing what is happening because of the dedication of Mary and the rest of the NSF team that all makes it happen. I mean, editors working, standing by to edit the footage, everything that has to go into making this happen on a daily basis. If you want to keep up with it, follow the channel here, y'all. Click on the button, turn on the notifications. You don't trust the notifications? At NASASpaceflight on Twitter is another great way to keep up with what's going on. But I had to roll into that real quick. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah.
I know. I just want to piggyback on what you were saying and just reiterate that the amount of work that Mary puts in is absolutely staggering.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely, it's so much more than just not only being out all day, every day, not only having the knowledge of where to go, what to look for. Oh, I can see the nose cone. My camera should have my camera feed. It's nose cone's coming around the corner just barely. But
hey,
yeah, sorry.
Check Ethernet and Wi-Fi, Jack. Check Ethernet and Wi-Fi for me.
But point being, she's just insanely dedicated, and it's not when you're tired, like yesterday, when you're out in the sun all day and you're done shooting and the thing has happened, it's it's very easy to just want to go to sleep. Like I was literally falling asleep on my computer while I tried to upload footage so it could get edited for the video. Like it's a staggering amount of work. It's just that's why we always like to encourage people to say thank you to her and appreciate the amount of work that gets put in. And it's a completely another level.
Absolutely.
It is. And
I had to switch to Jack's feed. Like, go ahead, Chris.
No, I know you wanted to switch to Jack's feed to see the nose cone.
It got a lot shorter all of a sudden. What's going on here? That's the top of the berm.
Yeah.
That's the top of the berm.
Yes, it is.
So,
yes, it is. But Jack, I also just wanted to say too, like you were out there too yesterday. Like we get so many, we get a lot of super chats like the one on screen right now. And I put this up because it's from it's West African Franks. So someone from West Africa is saying like, take a moment to Hail Mary, our tank watcher, and everything. But there are equal number of ones up here, Jack, thanking you for rolling out and all that you do too, and thank you, because I know it's not easy being out in that heat for both of you. So thank you.
Yeah.
And Gary, thank you so much for the new membership, as well as Steven and Pineapple Pizza and 350Z. Thank you for the new membership, Ian, as well. Oh man, thank you all just so much. this all just really, really helps us and is really appreciated by all the folks at NSF, from Mary and Jack in the field, and I know Dawson, Michael, and DK behind the scenes a lot of times, and from all of us, the writers as well, who usually are not featured on these streams because they are off doing other very important things for the site as well. But thank you all. And Das, we have a couple of suggestions here that I think you might be interested in.
All right, hit me.
We have people asking, nay, I would say kind of happily demanding that we get the Alpha platform guy on NSF Live to talk about cranes.
To talk about the cranes. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but he was absolutely fantastic yesterday. He answered all the questions, and you could tell he wasn't like doesn't know anything about it. You could tell he was into it, and he knew his stuff when it came to these platforms. So I'm not going to put anybody on the spot like that, but yeah, I like cranes and platforms.
Indeed. I think we all do. We've gained an affinity for them in recent months.
Yep.
But Braden here just wanted to say happy birthday, Braden. Braden's saying this is a great way to start my birthday. Do you think they will finish TPS before or after stacking? Thanks for all the great coverage. I believe this will finish after stacking. If I were a betting person, I think this is on its way out to the pad to be stacked as soon as possible. What exactly as soon as possible means, we'll wait and see.
Right.
But I would sort of venture that the reason they chose not to finish it in the high bay, which they totally could have, is because they want this stacked today. Because I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, and a few people in chat have said this too, August 5th was the sort of internal date that Elon wanted for the full stack. So I have a feeling this will be finished afterward.
Yeah. And Chris, real quick, look at this. Super chat from Will Clark coming in $100.
Oh,
saying,
man.
Yeah. Somebody should interview one of the crane operators. Great coverage by the entire NSF team. Will, it's something that we've been looking about. We have crane operators that give us insight into what's going on and help us with the terminology and stuff like that. But it's very tough to interview somebody that's actually working on those cranes on that site, because you get into all sorts of proprietary, like they can't really talk about exactly what's going on at SpaceX. So you have to back off and get somebody that's a crane operator who knows how to operate these cranes but isn't specifically working for SpaceX, so there's not like a conflict there with what they can talk about. But hey, absolutely positively, I would love to go to Crane World and get trained on cranes and then just do an entire live stream about here's how cranes work. And you know something? That crane operator knows the exact mass of booster 4. I don't know what Elon's going to say in the interview with Tim, but that crane operator had a readout on his screen that said exactly what the mass that he was lifting was. I'd love to talk to a crane operator about that, but we couldn't be the one who actually knew the mass, just because of the conflict and releasing information and stuff like that. Fantastic idea. I sign me up, and thank you so much for the generosity. That's super generous, the $100 super chat.
Oh, thank you indeed. So much. And to Adam and come on, work for me. Sorry. Yes, to Adam and to Clifton and Muddy Creek Critters. I like that name. Thank you so much for the new membership or the upgraded memberships, Chris and Paul as well. Thank you for the membership and that type of support. Jeremy as well with the membership. Thank you so much. And to all of you who are just giving, no questions, but just giving, thank you so much. Very much appreciated.
This is the part where we try to see if we guessed correctly where the curve was.
Yes.
And is Starship going to stay in frame and curve back around to the right, or is it sometimes it just barely goes off the frame and then comes back, and then we're all pulling our hair out like, no.
See, that's what I like about our streams. It's like, and now you all get to see if we guessed correctly.
Yeah. And then Chad will like cheer for us. Like Chad will be like, no, it's ruined, or yeah, we got it. Like, really, y'all, we're not a huge team that has massive, satellite trucks and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I jokingly say that chat is part of our remote production team because they give us real-time feedback.
I jokingly say it's his Twitch to Jack's camera right now.
Aha. Oh, there we go. That is a much better shot, it looks like. Coming around the curve there. I'm wondering if we just barely got it right on the curve on the other shot. But look at this, folks. Again, the NSF team working together here. Mary was there at the gate when it came out of the production site, while Jack ran all the way up to the test site, the launch site, so that we had cameras on both ends of it. And just about to come around the corner here with Jack's camera.
Here's an interesting question from Alex. So he says this kind of looks like an orca with fish scales, kind of.
Exactly.
I'd go with that. But I don't know. This is kind of a fun question since as we wait for it to round the corner. What are your favorite morning coffee? I personally am a just plain coffee and cream person. Nothing fancy until we get to pumpkin spice latte season.
Nice.
There's your insight into my psyche.
My favorite coffee is Red Bull. I don't know if I can I say that, I guess?
Sure, why not? Red Bull, if you're listening, I'll be contacting you for sponsorships.
Right. You think I already talk fast? Wait until we get a Red Bull sponsorship.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yep, and a lot of people are asking if the flaps look smaller or distorted views. The flaps are still there. They're just sort of tucked in and in their retracted positions right now. And the sort of sunlight angle and the fact that they're mainly tiled is sort of playing with some perceptions here. But they're there. There might not be exactly the same size as the ones that were on the ships that have flown so far. Elon has talked about, some changes coming to those designs as well, but unconfirmed whether they are the same dimensions or slightly shorter, but they are there. So if you are seeing things that make them look like they're not, probably just lighting and shadow angles and everything like that. And indeed, people want to see the full stack. They definitely do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so happy to see all of you here. Lots of people are asking when we think it will fly. There's really no firm way to know that right this second. I know we're getting a lot of questions across the board on that. Well, good thing to remember is if they do stack it later today or tomorrow, whenever the stack might be, we'll be watching for that. But remember that they're probably going to have to come apart again. They're probably going to have to go through static firings and proof testings and things like that. The ship obviously needs the rest of its tiles installed. Exactly how much of that they can do when it's stacked on top of a booster, we don't know. There's still a lot of technical readiness that's needed on the ground. As you're seeing, one of the fueling farm tanks is following it out to the pad, the fourth of 7 that they need. So they're nowhere close to the fueling farm being ready. There's still a lot from a technical perspective that they need to test and get ready on the ground. And then there's all the regulatory processes that they need to clear from the FAA and the FCC and the regulatory agencies that need to put their final stamp of approval on the orbital flight test before it can happen. Yep. Just that's to say there's a lot of work left to do. So I know it's a valid question. It is totally a valid question. Trust me, we wish we had an answer for you. We just don't. At this point, but
if somebody tells you they know the date,
it's not going to be
they're
quick.
guessing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, that doesn't mean that SpaceX doesn't have an internal work to date that they're aiming for. It's just that there's a lot left to do, and I don't want to tell you a date that has no basis in reality or fact or anything like that at this point.
Exactly.
What we can say is that the stack is going to be destacked before it launches. So that's going to be a big deal. But look at that lift. They're about
the
to
lift is up.
detach the
Oh,
crane
look at that.
booster
Yeah.
forward.
Yep. That 300-foot lift. It's a 90-meter, 300 feet, 295 roughly, going all the way up, and that's something that they use to detach those 2 hard points up at the top. That crane and the spreader bar are attached to the top, and they do look like they are getting ready to detach some stuff, it looks like.
Yes, indeed, right?
Yeah, you know how I know? Because that. That's how we know. Because the lift is all the way up there. Look at the sun glinting off the top of that booster. But we'll keep an eye on what they're doing as well. Actually, that boom is the aerial work platform is controlled from the top up there. The operator usually rides in the cage, and the person driving is right up there. So you got, that can actually hold, what was it? 1,300 pounds of payloads. That's tools and humans. And you can easily fit 5 or 6 people up there. Looks like we've got 3 right now, plus all their tools at the almost max height for the thing. Well, let's see where they're going. They're going back down again. We scared them off. They knew we were watching them. Let's go away and see if they'll go back to the top again. Hey, maybe that's why the spreader has been
locals, right?
Yeah, maybe that's why the spreader has been on the yellow Buckner crane, the GSE that's following in, you know?
Oh, maybe. Good catch.
Yep.
Good catch. That it was. You know, it is it is very interesting. It's very interesting too, because you know the dates are, because why are dates chosen, right?
Yep.
You know, like Bezos wanted to the Blue Origin suborbital flight, right, was timed to coincide with the 52nd anniversary of the moon landing, right, of the Apollo 11 moon landing, and August 5th. Why August 5th? It's a Thursday. Why not the 6th? Why not Friday? Why not give them the whole day? Seriously wonder if it had something to do with today is Neil Armstrong's birthday.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, today would have been his 91st birthday. Really wondering if that has something to do with it.
Yep. I would not doubt it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Look at that. Jack shot up close.
Oh my gosh, just look at that.
The beach angle showing it's approaching the gate there. Looks like it's come to a stop. Hopper's going to check its paperwork, make sure that all the forms are filled out. You know,
Hopper's got to do the checks. Yep.
SpaceX doesn't always fill out the right forms for the FAA and stuff like that, but they always fill out the forms when Hopper is the one doing the verification, I think.
This is the moment when Hopper gets out its little glasses and it's, you know, and it goes, okay, next. You know,
next. Thank you. It's got a big stamp, a big stainless steel thump, and it stamps, thump, stamps the paperwork and allows you into the test site. Move along.
And to everyone watching, we have our lower ticker gone right now because we want to show you this. We want to show you this as full of screen as possible. We don't want anything to be obscured. I am seeing all the new memberships. I am seeing all the super chats that are coming in just saying hi and thank you, and we will show them again and get to them, but we just don't want you to miss any of the action on screen right now. So that's why we're not showing them right this instant, but very much appreciated, and we are seeing them all come in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. You can actually see it turning there. Look at that. Let's go over this way. We've got some folks out there. Looks like they're being shooed off a little bit by the security to maintain a safe distance away from the base of this move.
Tile zoom. Look at that. Tile zoom.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, and the blanket, the white stuff underneath it. Wait, Jean told me what that was. Hang on. Let me pull her message. So the white material that the tiles are mounted to is called SIP, stress isolation pad, is what they are called.
Stress isolation, so like vibration dampening, maybe, or
it's made of 1/8 thick pieces of Nomex felt, is what she said.
All right.
Yes. And this is fairly common too, to have some type of material underneath that the tiles bond to or adhere to as well as other attachment mechanisms and processes that can be used. This is pretty standard as well.
Yep.
Oh, and just look at it. Oh, Jack, this is such a great camera angle as it just rotates by you. Look at that. Oh, and you can tell that the tiles are slightly different colors already. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Look, Chris. It looks totally different
It does.
with the
It looks
dark
like,
flaps
oh,
and the shiny stainless steel on the back.
there's
Looks
finally a ship that
it
has
looks like a
black tiles
spaceship.
again on its belly, and it's different, and it's shiny and on top. Yay!
You know what this is? This is like the blending of what we all imagine spaceships would be and the spaceships that we've actually seen. The tiles from
It is.
Shuttle and the shiny stainless steel of the 40s and 50s sci-fi spaceships that are, you've seen the side-by-sides like what we thought it was going to be in this old sci-fi book cover or something, and then an actual starship. And this is like where our sci-fi dreams of spaceship meet our reality of spaceship with the tiles and the shiny stainless steel.
It really does. Is it? Where's it going? Hang on.
Just making the turn. It's got to
That's
go around
it?
that crane, and yeah, then it'll
Got to go around the crane. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry.
Hopefully.
It turned toward the suborbital site. That's why I asked.
Yeah, they've been assembling a lot of stuff there. You can see the big black structure that we think is part of the
Yeah.
Mechazilla catching crane system, and they've been assembling that down low on that side of the landing pad. And so when they go, and we've seen them sort of go around, the Buckner crane did it as well, where it goes all the way out to the middle of the landing pad, then turns back around and comes back like a big button hook. But just
Okay.
driving around the assembly area, remember that's a huge flat concrete pad. That's actually the landing zone there that they tried to land, or that they did actually land the starships on. So
True.
look, I don't know which camera to click on anymore. I'm just going to be going back and forth between these two cameras.
Oh, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh
Jack's
man,
got
just
the-
look at that.
Yeah. The attach
And
point's
look,
there
you
as
can
well.
See, you can see how different. You can see the different tiles at the nose cone. Look at that.
Yep.
They're not. Oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, whatever six-sided thing is called. It's way too early, and I have not had enough coffee to remember geometric shapes. Sorry, Mr. Miller.
Whoa. Oh, there's a GSE
Also, I've
tank
said that a
going.
couple times, Mr. Miller. If you happen to randomly be watching, hello.
My physics teacher from high school watches.
Do they?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Nice.
All the way back from high school. Miss McKim, if you're out there, I don't know if you're watching today, but I get text messages from my high school physics teacher saying what's going on and thanking us for the coverage. So
Oh, that's fantastic. I
My-
love that.
One of my high school English teachers hit me up on Facebook and was like, "Hey, my son watches your broadcast, and when I told him I knew who you were, he flipped out." And that was just insanely surreal to me. I'm so glad that people are watching our broadcasts. 1, 2, I'm glad people are excited about the future of spaceflight, and 3, that was one of those teachers that was like, she was a really good teacher. She put up with me and all my shenanigans and trying to skate by, doing the bare minimum on assignments because I couldn't be bothered to, because I'm just not a great student. I was smart. I just didn't like doing homework. But she knew I was smart, and so, good teaching. I'll leave it at that. Good teaching. Not to
There
toot
you
my
go.
own horn or anything. I'm also incredibly dumb. Let's make that clear.
no.
Well, I mean, you just said that, and I joked about Mr. Miller, but my high school junior year high school English teacher, who was the one that really I didn't understand what she was doing in terms of her grading in the moment until I got to college, and then I realized what she was doing and everything that she was instilling and teaching us. But she actually stopped teaching after that and became a lawyer, and she's actually the lawyer that we use for NSF. So yeah,
No kidding.
which is
Huh.
really nice. So Wendy, if you're watching, shout out, thank you.
Very cool. And I
So
think
see,
we've enlisted
Be nice
some.
to your teachers.
Yeah, be nice to your teachers. Whatever you think about how much homework they give you right now, later in life, you may feel differently. You may look back fondly on some of the memories you had. I think we're being joined by some help here in the channel. DK, do we have you on comms?
Morning. Have I missed anything? Anything interesting going on?
Well, now that
you
you're
know.
here, the team is complete.
Yeah.
Goodness. I cannot believe this pace.
You're not
yeah,
kidding.
I mean, basically a 21st century space shuttle has arrived at the launch pad, DK.
Yeah, absolutely, right? With all those the TPS tiles on there, it looks fantastic. I love it.
Oh, it so does. This has been so awesome to see. Oh, Jonathan, I'm so sorry. I missed this 6 minutes ago. Jonathan with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much. But Jonathan saying, I had the pleasure of meeting Mary while I was visiting Starbase a couple of weeks ago. She is the nicest lady, genuinely loves what SpaceX is doing, and although camera shy, is a wonderful and beautiful person. Her work will be a part of history. Thank you, Mary.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. We've said, you know, you go to the museum and you see the little TV that's playing and you like watch it for a second and it's like, oh yeah, here's the history of, you know, the test of the Space Shuttle Enterprise or whatever. You're going to see some of this footage in museums at some point. I would put money on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Goodness.
You know. It's helping me out here for a second. When it's not moving, it's easier to use the side-by-side. So
It
I can
is,
put,
right?
Yeah.
You know,
It's-
a little bit of inside baseball, just because I'm a dork. I brought a cooler today with a whole bunch of supplies. Because yesterday it took so long for the thing to happen, and I'm a little bit bummed it happened so quickly. But no, for
Well-
real, the actual point here, besides the complaining, is it was a fast rollout. I would love to see a comparison with previous rollouts and, you know, how long they took versus how long this took. I feel like this was very fast, but maybe that's just anecdotal.
It seemed like it. When did they start rolling? Just around 7 a.m. CDT, DOS?
Oh, geez, I was going so fast. I don't even know if I remember what time they started rolling.
Oh, I guess I can scroll
Here, I
back
can
in
tell
our
you.
comms channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yep, I can certainly tell you. As of 7 a.m., it was already out of the high bay. 6:15, it was already out of the high bay. It began moving around 5:30, 5:45 a.m. this morning is when it came out of the high bay and actually started going towards the road. Let's see here. There, it's out of the high bay. There's 7 a.m. The sunrise looks
seems
fantastic.
to be moving at 8:08 Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah, just around 7:08 Central Daylight Time exactly is when it started to move. It looks like.
Yeah. So Jack, that was just under 2 hours. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So and I don't think that. I mean, granted, I joined about halfway through. I don't think they stopped, did they, DOS, this time round? Because like yesterday when they rolled the yesterday. Wait, yesterday or Tuesday? Tuesday
was
when they rolled
that?
the booster out. No.
What?
Did
When
they
was that?
When was that? Did they roll and
Like
stack
yesterday?
yesterday?
The booster, no, the booster was Tuesday, and then
Okay.
the stacking was yesterday. I know
Lifted.
it seems like just yesterday, but yeah.
Rolled on a Tuesday, lifted on Wednesday, Starship on Thursday,
Yeah, there we
launched on a
go.
Friday. I don't know, how does it go? Like,
There we go. And yeah, my apologies for not remembering that, because some of that for me was punctuated by Starliner stuff as well
Mm, oh,
here.
sure.
And there is, and do you know how hard it is? Starship, Starliner, and Starlink, and not getting those three tongue-tied to one another is just like, oh my God, could we have something that isn't Star L something? You know,
Right.
none of them go to a different star. Anyways,
Yeah.
we can dream, DOS. Hey, as I keep saying, Elon's probably working on warp drive next, so you know.
there you go. Somebody in chat has pointed out that the load bar on the Buckner crane, the yellow crane on the left-hand side, has actually lowered down a little bit, and it.
Oh, yeah.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to stay on the nose cone, or do you want a shot of the load spreader?
Oh, I kind of want the nose cone.
The nose cone's pretty nice. I mean, does
Yeah.
the load spreader have heat tiles on it?
Yes. No, I'm kidding.
What? No.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh man, you
The
said
load
that
spreader's all
so
prepped for re-entry.
convincingly. Yeah.
Hey, look, we got some cheerleaders in chat. Wile E. Coyote, I appreciate you there. And then Musketeer, I guess, said 24K watching and less than 1,900 likes. Come on, people. I didn't say it. I'm just reading what chat said. But we appreciate the cheerleading going on in chat over there. Thank you all so much for being part of the team here. Remember, if you haven't, this is
Indeed.
what we do, folks. We do live coverage all over Starbase, other launches. If something's launching, we try to get a live camera there, especially U.S. Haven't been to like Baikonur or anywhere yet, but if you like this
Oh,
sort of
one day.
coverage, I know, right? You're interested in our commentary, this is a channel that you can follow. This is what we do here on the NASA Spaceflight channel. So we're not just videos, we also have news articles. You can go to the website, nasaspaceflight.com. I'm not doing too much of a spiel here, but y'all know, if you want to get back to this channel on YouTube, you know how to do it. Click the like button, go ahead and toss a sub over, turn on the notifications so that when something happens, SpaceX is moving fast, you better turn on the notifications if you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, and man, I mean, to what you just said there to Das, I know at least Jack and I from this organization would be on as many planes as was needed to get to Baikonur.
Oh,
to see a launch. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Baikonur, Quad, New Zealand, Australia.
Oh, yeah.
There,
Yeah, and oh my gosh, Tanegashima in Japan
Oh,
is
yeah.
yes,
jaw-droppingly gorgeous. Yeah.
So jealous of Trevor Mallman having gotten to be there.
Yeah. I had to switch over here and put Jack's camera full screen because the cloud's going by in the background.
Oh, and actually, while we've got the ticker back, thank you for putting that back up. Camillo, I want to run through some of our new members. Thank you, Camillo and Alan, Mark as well, and John. Thank you for the new memberships, John. Thank you for the support, very much appreciated. And
Chris,
Blush, yeah.
Look.
Oh, we're gonna get an occultation. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Okay.
Look at this. I did not expect
Almost
that this was
foreboding
gonna...
thing.
And you know, like the scientist in me is like, quick, where are the scientific cameras? We can measure atmosphere, like with two things occulting one another, like
one another. Oh wow!
Wait, did it stop?
It stopped.
It stopped.
It stopped right there. Look at that. That's
Okay,
booster
so
3
that's-
in the
What
background.
a camera hog!
Yeah.
My goodness.
Oh.
All eyes on the booster. Nope.
Oh, there goes
GSE. There it is
There
again.
goes
All right.
again. That's the GSE tank moving there. Oh my goodness.
See, Jack, I appreciate you on this one. Jack knew this was going to happen because he's there, but we didn't know and he didn't tell us. So this was a surprise for us. This is really cool. Look how clean and shiny the stainless steel is.
I'm practically negative comms over here as I run around and try and edit a photo and get a photo posted and do all the things. You know how it goes.
Oh, no. Jack, post them up. Go ahead. God.
Just absolutely incredible. Look at that.
You know how Elon was saying that the launch pad and the ground service equipment is harder to do than the ship itself?
Yeah.
I think this camera angle sort of illustrates that right now.
Yeah, Das. Stage 0 can have infinite mass. So,
There you go.
so giant tank.
You know, I'll make the comment that remember the original tanks and the original starships and how they looked pretty rough. And then look at this stainless steel tank. Look at the build quality, the fit and finish on this GSE tank. This isn't even something that's going to fly. This is something that's going to stay on the ground. And look at how far they've come from the first things that they rolled out there. And, you know, we're testing and burned down, fell over, sank into the swamp, et cetera, et cetera. And then look at this piece of equipment that is literally going to be there supporting operations for years. I mean, permanently installed ground service equipment. So,
Right? Yeah. Which is what you want.
our understanding is that the bend in the pipe is for thermal expansion during cryocycling. So the pipes heat up and cool down, and the best that we have been able to get, don't have official word from SpaceX, but that pipe goes through a big bend so that as it expands and contracts, it doesn't compress just the pipe. It has a little bit of leeway. That's the best that we've gotten on that. It stopped again. But until somebody corrects me, that's sort of our best understanding of why those curves are in the pipes. Every time we see a curve, somebody asks, just getting out ahead of it.
Indeed, indeed. And Joseph, thank you so much for the monthly support as well as Sev. Thank you indeed. Z3NT, yeah.
Centurio, maybe?
Centurio? Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, definitely. Yeah, DK, do you want to speedrun some of these that are up?
Do I want a speed run? Sure.
You're better at it than I am.
I'm
I
just
get
going to go
distracted
through
by
them as quickly
questions.
as possible. A lot of these are going to have questions, but we're not going to be able to get to them very easily. I'm going to try to do as many as they can without questions. So, Piotrios18, thank you very, very much. Brianna Matthews, thank you. David Cregan with a $10 super chat, thank you very much. Oren Noy, appreciate you a bunch. Mr. Friendly B, thank you. John Kaplan, Andrew, Deanna, Ido, James McCabe, Andrew, and Ido are all new members. I'm clicking so fast that our interface here isn't keeping up with me. Daniel Kelman, thank you very much for the super chat. John Gomez for the super chat, thank you very much. Ben Thomas, Tech Controls, Josh Wilson, Gudgeon Bjornson, thank you very, very much. Now it's not responding. Hold on.
Happens every once in a while.
Yeah. I can see a new membership here. Plush Vader, thank you very much for a new membership a little while ago now. Yeah, all kinds of super chats and new memberships coming in. Thank you guys so much for the support. We literally can't do it without you. Help keeps the lights on. And for everybody else that's just watching, that absolutely helps support us as well. Both this and then also our 24/7 live stream. Trying to get there we go. So Joel Elwin, thank you very much. Richard Sue, Isaac the Swede, FME, Vivek Bakshi, Oliver Taylor, Braden Blackwell, Lance Fiesta, Antonis Cavellos, Righteous Wrath, James Woodman, Daniel Vasquez, all with super chats. Thank you. I'm trying to get through as much of these as I can, as quickly as we can here. We want to make sure that we thank everybody that is able to give just a little bit more.
That's why we're able to keep this going, y'all.
Yeah,
y'all
absolutely.
Keep showing up. So.
All right, we got Scott, Tarek S. Remember Tarek from yesterday. Desmo Bluefire coming in with super chats. Thank you. Marie Onette, Biox Live, James J. Daniel Coleman, John Kaplan. Might have thanked John before. David Cregan. And some of these are from a while ago now. I just want to make sure that they're at least thanked if we're not able to get to the question. And for anybody who put in a super chat with questions, we really, really wish that we could get to every single question, but there's just not enough time, just logistically, to be able to go through all of them. But thank you very, very, very much for the support. And to everybody else who is just in chat again. So,
Indeed. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, DK. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm having browser issues.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like really good questions here about the potential for a launch and everything like that. And I know that this is a question on a lot of people's mind. It's just a bit too early to really know. There's a lot of technical stuff that needs to take place here. Still a lot of regulatory stuff. I'm sure SpaceX has their internal date, but in terms of when this stack will fly, we really don't have a good date to hand you just yet for that one.
Yeah, it's very easy to get excited since we're seeing it, rolling out and presumably being stacked very quickly. It's very easy to be excited and be like, all right, so when's it gonna launch? I want to see the rocket launch, please.
Exactly. When launch?
When launch? Exactly.
Which, if you want to express your when launch support, I believe we have when Starship orbit merchandise available in our store.
It's true.
If you wish to publicly display your questioning of when and support for when this ship will go skyward toward orbit, you can definitely deck yourself or your coffee mugs out with a when Starship orbit design from the NSF store. That's shop.nasaspaceflight.com. Anyway, shameless
Very
plug.
cool. Yeah, wasn't quite ready to show that on the screen there. I don't know if I would show a T-shirt or a mug right now instead of this shot.
Yeah,
You'd have to
it's
twist
pretty,
my arm.
Pretty good shot.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out from the perspective of where that GSE tank is on the left side, the one that's moving. But now I'm confused. Is that the one that's over by the cryo shells, way off on the left?
Yeah, it's the furthest GSU tank
Okay,
to the
great.
right.
All right. Sorry, I'm just sitting down and trying to catch up with where everything is yet.
It doesn't look like we've seen movement from either the tank or Ship 20 for quite a bit now, so I'm kind of wondering if they might be staging them at their current locations.
Oh, could be.
And we do see that the booster 4 is still hooked up to the crane, so obviously a lift of Ship 20 is not imminent. Perhaps it could still happen today, but if it does, it's not going to be in the next few hours.
Well, that's okay, because we keep the cameras going 24/7. Starbase Live is up right now as well, and people on Starbase Live can't hear me, but I messed up a little bit earlier. I left a dead camera on there while it was rolling out, so if anybody was watching that stream, I apologize. We were juggling a lot getting going this morning, but we got it fixed as soon as we could.
Sarah Joy and LoJack coming in with some new memberships, all along with all kinds of super chats coming in. Thank you guys very, very much. And a lot of them are just like, thank you for the coverage. Love watching this, and thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, looking at this, it looks like Starship has come to a rest on the landing pad. We haven't seen it move in a while, and also the GSE tank hasn't moved in a while. You can see on Jack's close-up camera there, neither one of them has moved. I don't know if that GSE tank has maybe made it to its final destination before it gets lifted by the Buckner crane, that yellow crane on the left-hand side of the screen, but Starship hasn't moved in a while either. And so what we might end up doing here is letting everybody go over and hang out on Starbase Live. We'll still have some of these camera angles up. We'll probably free up Jack and let him go and get some different shots from different angles and stuff like that. I know Mary's out there doing the same already, but we absolutely would keep the cameras live on Starbase Live, especially that beach angle. I mean, look at that beach angle right now.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking here, what we're going to have everybody do is hop on over to the other stream. And let's make sure that y'all know where that is. Mods, could we get that linked up into chat if we could? That would be fantastic. And trying to make sure everybody knows we may shut down our commentary here. But we were not going to turn off the cameras, and that's just going to be over on our 24/7 stream. Put that link into chat if we could. I know that we probably did not get through all the super chats. We're never able to get through all the super chats. DK, could you run through a couple of those real quick for us?
I can just burn through them, yeah.
Yeah, just
Allison,
real quick.
Adasaur, thank you very much. Centurio Linguris, thank you. Silvio Lux, Kyle Trick, Dave H, SN20, Mahalo Zivsek, Sean Smith, the Liber LH1350 Crawler Crane Lift Rig, thank you for the super chat. Hakon, thank you for the super chat. Papola Larjo, Dave Wolf, Ron Rubbottom, RK9, Mark Bapp, Astro Heredero, James DeWally, Chris Engel, Fatal Fail, Gustavo Lira, Heikem Mosen, and Moldy Space Industries. Thank you all very, very much for the super chats.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. So here's the deal. Again, we're going to let you go over to Starbase Live. It's that link in chat. make sure if you have autoplay on, it may actually it may automatically send you over there. But for now, the NASA Spaceflight team will be spooling down the live commentary. Make sure you follow the channel here, turn on the notifications and stuff like that. If there is a lift later today, we're going to be keeping an eye on that crane to detach from the booster in the Starship to get closer to the crane. But it's possible they may try to stack this thing today. And if they do, yes,
Goodness.
today. And if they do that, we will be right back with more commentary. We'll start up a different stream, but you don't have to go anywhere. You can continue watching on Starbase Live, y'all. It's not going to go anywhere. For now, really quickly, thanks to the team today. Chris Gebhardt was here. Derek, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Jack and Mary out in the field, of course. Michael Baylor running things here behind the scene with us, operating cameras. And my name is John Galloway for NASA Spaceflight. But for now, let's go ahead and send you all over to Starbase Live, and we will see you nerds later. Thanks so much for joining us. Cameras aren't going anywhere, and you can keep watching.